Yes, everybody, what's going on? My name is Stephen Howson. This is Stretford Paddock, and this is the transfer review. First up, then, we are talking about Ben Chilwell. Okay, who's talking about him, Steve? Well, the Mail and the Express. Sorry. They're saying that Ben Chilwell is a target for Manchester United, but he's also a target for Chelsea and Manchester City. My personal feeling, straight out the bat on this one, is it feels like he's going to Chelsea or Manchester City. This feels like throwing United's name in because Luke Shaw's injured and we don't really know what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's plans are. There's a few people that go, I think we could probably do with a starting left back. I think Chilwell's a good player. Fuck it, that'll do. But I just don't see him being a Manchester United player. I see City's requirement for him, and I see Chelsea's requirement for him, and I think they'll fight harder for him, and I think one of them will land him. What the papers are saying is that United have entered pole position, and Harry Maguire's a good reason why Chilwell's going to come over and follow his former teammate, and I just don't buy it. I just don't buy it at all. I understand the requirement for a left back. I'd personally definitely want to see Luke Shaw upgraded, but I think that there's more pressing needs for Manchester United. I think you can be okay where we are at fullback. I think there's a much more pressing requirement for United in midfield. I think there's a much more pressing requirement for United on the right wing. And until those are sorted, they need to be the priority. I also think you're going to struggle to get Luke Shaw off the books. Supposedly 250 grand a week he signed, and not so long ago. I think you also maybe want to wait and see how Ethan Laird develops, maybe how Brandon Williams develops. I just can't see United going out there and getting a first choice, because let's be honest, a first choice in any position, you're talking at something in the region of £60 million now, aren't you? For any position. So Ben Chilwell to United, I understand we might want him, and there's people at the club that I know like him, but there's a long way from that to seeing him standing on the pitch at Old Trafford holding a shirt up. So I'm going to say 2 out of 10. Next up then, of course, Jadon Sancho was never getting one of these without, I mean, even when he signed, he might even still be in these. But we're doing Jadon Sancho. Obviously, the Mirror are talking about him. He's done the rounds everywhere. Supposedly there's a price of £110 million out there in the world. That's what United are going to have to pay for him. That is a lot of cash. Does that include all the bonuses? Probably, because that's what they do when they're reporting on a deal for United. If it was more like towards the 80-90 million kind of range, I think we'd have it. The Athletic have been reporting that United have set money aside for Jadon Sancho. Obviously, how much that is anybody's guess. Michael Zorc, the Dortmund director, has been coming out and talking and saying, we have a contract with him. But like we said last week, you don't start looking elsewhere to bring in a replacement for someone unless there's a good chance that they're going. As usual, though, the fact that he wants United, United want him, and Dortmund are happy to do business at a certain price still means there's a long way to go in this transfer, and it could still not happen. So I'm not going to stand here and tell you it's 10 out of 10, but I would be surprised if Jadon Sancho doesn't end up at Manchester United this autumn, I guess is now the transfer window, isn't it? I'm going to creep it up and I'm going to say 8.5 out of 10. I think we gave it an 8 last week. I feel like it's starting to move on a little bit now. Obviously, the season's come to an end at the Bundesliga. The domestic season's drawing to a close. You would hope United are able to start work on this transfer now, rather than just waiting until all of our competitions are finished and then being like, right, Jadon, me old China. So I think this one's moving along nicely, but it's not in the bag just yet. That was the ins. Only a couple on the ins this week that are really relevant and worth talking about. The outs is where it's going to get interesting. And of course, Paul Pogba is on the outs. Now, this has done the rounds pretty much everywhere, and I think everyone's sort of come to the same sort of conclusion, is no one's out there willing to pay. We've spoken about this so much. There's a handful of clubs at best Paul Pogba can go to, and most of them appear to be skint. So where's Paul Pogba going to go? It makes a lot of sense for Paul Pogba to get a new contract at Manchester United, and if he's happy and he's playing the football like he's playing at the moment, many United fans aren't going to be asked if he stays around. In fact, many United fans will be very happy if he stays around. Replacing him is way harder than keeping hold of him. Again, still got the issue about his brother and does he actually want to be here, but if he's putting in the performances that we've seen in since Project Restart, I got no qualms with him being here. He's certainly not captain material, but he's a very good footballer. And you're a better team when you've got more very good footballers, obviously. Do I think he'll get a new contract? Yes. Do I think they're going to pay him about fucking $500,000 a week? Yes. Do I think he's going to come out and say my brother's a bellend and don't listen to him? No. Do I want that to happen? Yes. It's one of them, innit? He's a fantastic footballer. We are a better team with him in it. I hope he stays. Rate it 7 out of 10. Lingard, Rojo, Jones, Smalling, Sanchez, Dalot. Them 6 are on the chopping block. And no surprise that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been absolutely fucking ruthless. Ruthless. R-O-O-F-L-E-S-S. Ruthless. That's what he's been. He's been absolutely ridiculous in terms of getting rid of players that he doesn't want. Lukaku, bye. Fellaini, bye. Darmian, bye. Anyone that he didn't fancy, didn't like the attitude of, fucking bye. And them 6 are the ones that we all sort of expect. Half of them are out on loan, so I don't expect them to come back. Phil Jones is, I don't know, lost at the back of his fucking wardrobe at home. Jesse Lingard got a feature against Crystal Palace in the week. Didn't look bad, actually. But you just got the real vibe that he ain't happy here and he is going to get moved on. Fine, I guess. How bored must you be driving trucks? How do I rate all 6 of these going? Feels rare, doesn't it? I think that we probably want to shift all 6 of these on. If we actually manage to shift all 6 of these on, and I know some of these aren't the club, but you have to replace at least 4 of them in the squad, unless he's got his eye on Mengi and Laird and people like that stepping up to take those positions. That's a massive weakening of our squad. It's also a lot of money off the wage bill, which should satisfy the need. I mean, Sanchez alone is a lot of money off the wage bill, but that should create the little bit of space that you need for Pogba's new contract, potentially. And let's be honest, probably Marcus and Martial's new contracts on the back of how they've been. And guess who else is going to be fucking knocking on that door? Mason Greenwood, if he's got any sense about him, is like, Gaffer, can I have a word? Here's a DVD of all my goals this year, lad. Fancy a new contract. Fucking pay the man. Getting rid of all them 6 at once is going to be tough. But I think you could go every single one of them players individually, 7 out of 10. All 6 at once, 3 out of 10. But I think that most of them will find their way out of Manchester United this summer. And finally then, Marcus Rashford, PSG. It's true. They want him at least. Will he leave and go? I don't think so. I think that would be Manchester United's decision. I think if Manchester United accepted a bid, and it would have to be, I mean, how much would you accept a bid for Rashford for? 180? 200 million? You're not just going to take 100 million for him, are you? Because replacing him is going to be well hard. Why would you want to? This is a guy that's potentially going to stay here for his career and hopefully push for Rooney's record for the record goal scorer at the club. Why would you want to cash in on him? I understand that Paris want him. Barcelona wanted him last summer. That was very real. It's very real about Paris. It's not a surprise players people want him. He's got as many goals, I think he's one off actually, and he's been injured for 2 months. Even though it ended up being like 6 months before he played, didn't he? But he's been injured for a couple of months this season, and he's only 1 goal off what Mbappe got in that Farmers League in France. So it makes perfect sense to me why PSG would want Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford going into that team, phenomenal. Would score all the goals. But Manchester United are the ones that are going to say yes or no. Now, if you're Marcus Rashford, you assume that the club probably does say no, but at some point there might be an offer put on the table. Let's say they'd lost their mind and put 250 million on the table. United might accept that. The same way we did with Ronaldo in 2008, where you go, wow, that's a bargain in hindsight. But when you looked at it at the time, you're like, well, it was a world record fee. We had to let him go. Different with Ronaldo because he really did want to go. I don't think Marcus is itching to go to Paris by any stretch of the imagination whatsoever. But if the club accepted a bid, I do think that the connotations of a club accepting a bid for you mean that they're thinking that they could probably do without you. And that's not a good place to be as a footballer that wants to stay here forever. So if there was a bid tabled that was accepted, then I think Marcus would have a decision to make. Outside of that, I don't think he goes anywhere. So this instance, the Paris Saint-Germain interest, definitely real. But what I will say is, Don't think he's going anywhere. So let's give it a 1 out of 10 because United might accept a bid, but I don't think so. Alrighty then, that was it from me. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you've enjoyed everything that's happened this week. It's not been a bad week, has it? Look forward to the game tomorrow against Chelsea. Make sure to come and tune in. Tune in live for the watch along. Come and watch it. Get the telly on and get the boys on. We've got a good crew on for the watch along tomorrow. I might even get smashed this weekend. How about that? Come and join us and get in the mixer, and I'll see you then. Laters.